Hello and welcome in to the SorareData show. I am Andrew Lairdinho. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Today, talk about the cost of waiting. That's the idea. And I made you guys wait a little bit today. Had an event at my youngest daughter's school, little pre-Christmas break activity, and you guys just had to wait a little bit. So thank you for everyone for coming in. Thank you to everyone for coming in. Excuse me. Bob Franklin, Scosmo, and Pico Player on the podium. Congratulations, you three. Scosmo, who I was talking to quite a bit, it was last night for me. I guess it was last night for him, if depending on when it becomes morning. But he said, what a great title. And I'm going to refer you back to this when you buy Nicola Ravella in 3 weeks for 3x the price. Scosmo, prices don't go up. Gully, what's up? Stefan, Sorare Strats, Scott Warren. The cost of waiting summarizes my week. Bought a Martin Adam Unique. I don't know. Oh, Martin Adam have a really big beard? We're going to look in a second. After hearing rumors of a China move, he signed for a team in Hungary. When Hungary? Oh, no. Oh, Scott. Martin Adam. Let me see if this is the guy I'm thinking it is. Does he have a big beard? Oh, my God. The things that you learn playing this game. I actually didn't even know he was in Ulsan. Was. Then Greek Super League. That is wild that I knew who that was. Well, some good scores at some point. Anyway, yeah, when Hungary. When it's probably, hopefully, is it a blue X at least and not a red X, Scott? We'll see. CJM SO5. Hi, Laird. I watch your live streams every day whilst cooking dinner. Thank you for the translation, and thank you for watching. I never get involved in the live chat as I'm always busy, but just want to say thanks for all the content you put up. CJM, thank you. Hope you have a great Christmas and some well-deserved time off. Right back at you. Thank you very much. And I'm genuinely curious how involved this, tea cooking is. Like, are you a bit of a, little gourmet? What's the, I don't know what word exactly I'm looking for. It'll come to me in about 30 minutes and I'll be like, why was I thinking of that? But anyway, I'm interested, CJ, and maybe we'll do a Sorare Andrews together. Toby, what's up? Tom Godfrey, evening. Mike Baston, is it Santa Laird for final stream? I haven't ruled out Monday yet. I'll probably not do it, but I haven't ruled it out. We'll see. Malky, Apocalypto, Sora Burrow, Blue Tomatoes, ZM Star. I thought the cost of waiting in America was 20%. Ooh, I see what you did there. Toma Chesks. Hello. Tyler B, how am I supposed to play Sorare without Andre Santos this weekend? Tyler, next weekend too. I felt at a complete loss and I made some terrible mistakes this morning to try to make up for it. John Andrews, what's up? Oh, Tuggy's in the house. Varacozo, is the Twitch chat live? Yes, it is. You're probably the only one there, but hello. Tuggy said that Martin Adam is a John Nellis doppelganger. Maybe old John Nellis. He's like skinny John Nellis now. Tyler B. Ulsan versus Dortmund in Cincinnati this summer. Nellis's Hungarian cousin. Maybe. Ulsan versus Dortmund in Cincinnati. This is what the world of football has come to. Anyway. EPKA, what's up? Finally catching live. Thanks for coming in and for saying hello. Agent Cooper said, I thought good things come to those who wait. I mean, there could be great things here. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, Club World Cup. Right. Of course. Simo, thanks for coming in. That first stream, I actually tune in for loving the content lately, Andrew. Thank you very much, Varacozo. Varacozu? Oh, man, that's a tough one. As if I'm like some sort of pronunciation expert. Yeah, anyway. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Really appreciate it. It is Friday, December 20th, most likely the last stream before Christmas. I plan on streaming at least Friday next week, maybe Thursday, maybe Monday, definitely not Tuesday, and definitely not Wednesday. I'll say that. And Thursday I probably won't because it's Boxing Day and everybody's going to want to watch football, and like trying to compete with that just doesn't seem Just doesn't seem worth it. Even though there are plenty of people who really don't care about the Prem and would happily sit down for a stream, but is what it is. I was just before this playing around on Suno for a new limited time only song, and this song, it's an instrumental, but it's in my head, and I don't know if I'm going to use it. I actually sent the clip to Gator Guy. I'm not sure I'm going to use it, but because it doesn't quite feel appropriate, it's not the right word, but it just didn't feel like the right song. But it's a banger. It's a banger. Bogdan says SorareData shows the perfect warm up for watching Bayern. Oh, do Bayern play today? As somebody with 0 Bayern players, I never even consider. Oh yeah, I'm more interested in Walwick Zwolle. Oh no. Oh no, never mind. Whew. Sorry, I just looked at the games page, and I get my 2 Bundesliga logos mixed up when I don't actually look quickly. And I saw this out, and I thought it might have been Kasper Jander, who doesn't even play for Dusseldorf, and I got very, very nervous. But it was Noah Kruth, who's a goalkeeper I won, probably is a tier 3, and he will never play. Let's see how did we get that? Actually, I might have crafted Noah Kruth. I have a rare card, and since I bought all these limiteds, we got to scroll back. Let's see. Where are you, Noah? Noah Kruth. I guess I could just, search for him. I did craft him. Another 2 Bundesliga. The Magdeburg backup goalie. And by backup, I mean like 5th string probably. But anyway. Tobe said, I see that you completely threw the budget solution out the window today. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Toby, because that was kind of like 2 strategies that melded into one that will become a disaster. I just know it. Tyler said 60% of Bundesliga lineups in Division 1 will be done by the end of the day. That's amazing. Caruso said, I have a full stack of Leipzig players betting on a Bayern crumble today. There you go. There you go. Have you tried filtering by rare? Thanks, Doug. But no. Gift Orban to Hoffenheim could be fun. Could it? Like, really? Really? Yeah, so let me explain how I struggled with this cost of waiting thing. So I explained a little bit on, was it Monday's show, Wednesday's show? I don't know, whenever. About this Napoli situation that I had with Alessandro Buongiorno was hurt, and then I had Rafa Marin who might play for him, and then I had Juan Jesus who might play for him, and I had a Rodrigo, and I was like, all right, I need to buy an in-season midfielder. And a lot of people were pushing me towards Luis Mia. I know Sorare Josh in the chat had one. I don't know if he ended up selling his or not. I didn't buy it. Somebody did buy one. Let's see. Josh did sell his this morning in a trade. Oh, this is a fun trade. This is a very fun trade. Luis Mia in season for classic limited Messi, classic limited Ryan Gauld, classic limited Carlos Heel, and $20. Actually seems, value-wise, that's not bad. The reason I didn't get Mia is because it was a 1-week solution. And I was going to have to buy someone else next week. And it was like, I really don't want to do that. And so I kept trying to convince myself to do a number of different things. And the reason why I was really adamant about this lineup is because I am in Division 1 in Champ. And in Champ in season. And I just don't have a lot of like Champ in season lineups. And so I was excited about it and trying to make the best lineup I could. And I still ended up doing sorry, I was distracted here. I still did the full like double defender Napoli stack, which probably not ideal, but it's like what I had. And they're away to Genoa. And then I had basically a midfielder and a forward spot open with 1 classic card available, meaning 1 classic card spot. I ended up playing Juan Jesus over Marin. I hope that works out. So Merritt, Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Juan Jesus, and I had a classic Rodrigo from Real Madrid is in the forward spot, which forced me to get an in-season midfielder, excuse me. And I pretty much was like, I'll take Luis Mia. I looked at Papelu. Scosmo kept telling me to get Nicolo Rovella, who I considered. I considered just playing Gustav Isaacson, but I don't have his in-season card, so I had to get him. And the guy that I kept going back to in my head was David Neres from Napoli. And I was like, this stays on brand because he took set pieces last week because Kvaratskhelia was out. Kvaratskhelia is supposed to be back, at least on the bench for this weekend. I don't think he's fit enough to start. And so the issue with buying Neres was like, I didn't want to buy Mia or Papelu because they don't play next game week, and I'm going to have to find someone for next game week anyway. And so I was really looking for somebody that would handle a number of weeks. The problem was that like Rodrigo, I don't think plays next week either. So I was kind of in this weird spot where I just was like trying to, let me just double check here. Does he play next game week, Rodrigo? No, he doesn't. So I kept trying to get like a good player who also handles this week and next week. And by game week 41, when the Ligue 1 guys come back, I'll be okay in that respect. But I also kept kind of going back to this idea of, do I want to get Jude Bellingham? And for those of you who have been like watching recently, that I tried to get a Jude Bellingham, a 2023 Jude, because I have a 2023 Rodrigo, which is the one I'm referencing here, and a Modric. And so it just like fits in the collection. But he doesn't play next game week either. So it's like, so do I really want to do that? And then I was kind of like just looking around, and I came upon Hakan Calhanoglu, or there's like 17 ways to say his name, and I always feel like I say the wrong one because I have to think about it every time. Because I say Calhanoglu, but there's also like Calhanoglu. I think it's Calhanoglu. But anyway, who smashes for Inter, but like gets hurt a lot. And obviously he only has classic cards. And so if I bought him, then I had to get a in-season forward. And Pug Trader had one. We went back and forth yesterday, and I rejected. So I sent him an offer. He sent me a counter. I sent him another counter, and he rejected that counter. Today, I sent an offer for the amount that he had countered me for after he had raised the price on the card, and then he countered for more, and I ended up buying it because I'm just a sucker. And then I still needed a forward, and I was looking at the forward options, and strangely enough, or coincidentally enough, Pug had a Marvin Duksch that I was going to buy. But again, it's like a 1 week thing because then they take a break. And I was going to try to trade a Nicholas Kuhn card that I had won recently. Nobody tell Quinny. And I then ended up, I didn't really have a contender lineup this week, and I had sold 2 SPFL cards this week. So I was like, man, I'm not even going to play contender. But then I saw like All-Star was open, and I put Kuhn in that lineup. And I just was like, I ended up doing all these random things and ended up buying Neres. And I went from like feeling good about the lineup to now I just was like, man, I don't really love this. Merritt, Di Lorenzo, Jesus, Calhanoglu, and Neres. Like Neres is going to play 55 minutes. I know it because Cavaradona is going to come on for him, and he won't take any set pieces. And he's like, his scores are awful. Like I would never buy this card under normal circumstances. And the problem is that next week I'm going to have to do it all over again. I'm going to have to buy another card. And I think we all know I'm going to end up with Kavicha. And that's the problem. And basically, because I waited so long to make the decision on Calhanoglu, which I didn't even like, I did look at him previously. Like, I think when he came back from injury, I'm like, man, he does score like really well. Like he's a good player. And as you can see, like lots of DNPs because he does get hurt. This Turkey one, I don't know if he got hurt in this Wales match, but like he's very good. Like in his L40, He averages 61, 10 decisives, 10 positive decisives in 29 games. Like, he's a good player. He's a very good player. Plays for Turkey. So, like, Yippee is pointing out this other thing. 3.5% on a card in Division One is a crime. And I don't really have I have no collection pieces. And it's like, do I even want to go into this collection? Like a classic collection, which has like good players in it. Donnarumma, I guess. Teo Hernandez. I don't even know if all of these guys still play. Tonali, JPH. It would be fun to have this JPH. This is the only one on the market, so it's really expensive. Little Zlatan for the collection. I didn't even realize Mandzukic was there. That's kind of fun. I mean, I know he doesn't play. Hit Hakam with the level ups. Yeah, I could do it. Mike says leaving until Friday morning feels like a rookie mistake. Is that why Sorare sent out the beginner's guide link 15 minutes before you started? Yeah, that's actually a very good joke, Mike. Agent Cooper said, "Why so negative? That lineup has podium written all over it." I don't think it's that that great, but I think it's doable. I think it stays in Division One as long as everyone starts. Knock on wood. Tobe said Zlatan and Mandzukic for the culture. Yeah, totally. Excuse me. So the problem that I had was basically, it's not that I waited until the deadline to make the decision, but I did like kind of put it off all week. Like, I knew this was a problem all week. I talked about it all week and didn't really decide to make the decision until today, which cost me an extra $15 on the Çalhanoğlu card. I bought this Neres card. Like, there weren't that many great forwards in Champ for this game week anyway, especially when I made the decision that it had to play this week and next week, which was basically just Syria and Prem. And I didn't really I felt like every Prem guy was overpriced. And Neres, at least, like, I can make the justification that, like, oh, he's a collection piece, and like that helps the collection, even though like it doesn't actually help the collection, because it's not like it put me over some sort of threshold or anything. I will say that it was a wrapped card, so like there was a possibility that it was a special edition, but like I'm already at 3% and I'm 140 points, or excuse me, 240 points away from 4%. So I'm at 3, but I was at 3 already. Like, I was at 250 points already, and this just was like another one. So he's also the only card in the collection now that I either didn't buy from the primary market or is a special edition or jersey mint. He's just like one of those cards, and I ended up paying almost like $30 for it. And I just didn't, I really didn't think I would ever have the Neres card anyway. And now I'm just like not super excited about it. Agent Cooper said, Hakan is a beast. I feel a turkey stack incoming. Arda Güler, here we come. So it's funny. I was actually going to buy an in-season Luka Modric. And then all of the predicted lineups I saw for this game week, for this weekend, had Arda Güler starting. And I was like, should I just buy Arda Güler? But I didn't. Simo said, was nearly sucked into buying in-season Vonnetzek today because of the advent calendar offer, then realized after this weekend he doesn't play for 4 weeks. Yeah, it's one of these things that like I wanted to make the best lineup I could for this game week, while also thinking of next week. And that's why it put me off from all the La Liga guys, because I was like, I don't want to deal with that. And there weren't that many. I had like a Julio Enciso card that I bought on stream with Harry. Like, if he was going to start, I wouldn't have done any of this. Well, I guess I wouldn't have bought Neres, but like who knows if he's going to start. And it's like, I'm going to do this again. Like, I'm going to start again looking for a better forward to play. And I don't think it's Kavica. They're home against Venezia next week, which if you're going to have the, set piece taker or whatever. Tuggy said it only takes 1 week to pay him off. I mean, theoretically, but Malky said, kind of think you're doing what you advised against in the past. You're buying poor players just because of your collection and not choosing the guys with higher raw scores. So Malky, I don't totally disagree with you, because again, like Neres, I didn't necessarily buy Neres because he was in the collection. Like, I bought Neres because he's taking set pieces this weekend for a favorite and could do it again next weekend, depending on Kvaratskhelia, and I know he's playing. Like it's a forward with good matchups each of the next really 3 weekends, and he takes set pieces. Like that's right on brand. And there just weren't that many guys in that situation going into this game week if I wanted to play Çalhanoğlu, which I did. Like I think like bought when I tried to buy Jude Bellingham, the idea was like that my one classic card will be the smasher. And Scosmo actually said it in the live chat yesterday about like when you're, optimizing your lineups for in season, like getting a good challenge or excuse me, a good classic card to play is important, especially if like not a lot of people have them. And Çalhanoğlu only has, let me see here, 121 rare cards on the platform. And when you consider that like Jude Bellingham has, let's see here, 238 classics and 73 in seasons, it's just like a little bit of like a differential. But again, like because the classic card, it kind of sets you up for having to play in season cards elsewhere. Mike said, so if you know you're going to have to buy Kvara, why haven't you done so already? Surely his price is not going to drop when he's due to return. I don't know if it necessarily goes up. How much does he cost right now? 138. And Egg Swap. Oh, no, that's an old one. So one trade. Oh, Egg Swap Bot got one 5 hours ago. I'm guessing this is just like an upgrade. Sorloth, Evanilson, Kvara midfielder card, and $12 for the new season forward card. But let's see. Instant buy 24 hours ago, 150. Of course, Sorare Josh has one. 138. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get one. Like he hasn't been particularly great. It's not like I'm like passing up on some superstar here. Nep said, wow, you didn't want me to join you. I'm actually hurt. When did I say I didn't want you to join me? What does that mean? So I don't know if I'll buy Kvara. Feels like I should get like a special edition or something, which goes against everything I said, that you should get like the expensive guys and special edition around the rest of it. Nep said, I offered to talk to you today or Monday and you decided solo. I believe, Nep, you said Monday or Tuesday. And I'm going to go back to my DMs and look right now. If you do a show Monday/Tuesday, receipts, Nep, receipts. Toby said Tovan is the play for next week, I think. After watching him at Liga MX, I will literally never buy a Tovan card. But he did come up like on my searches. So there's that. But the whole point of all of this was the reason why I felt like I needed to get the right players in for this game week and for that lineup is because when you have like in-season cards, like there are only so many times that you're going to be able to have the right matchups. And I'm not saying that like, playing away to Genoa is like the perfect matchup. But Napoli are firmly favored, and like I felt like I needed to take advantage of that situation, and so it just feels like, sorry, Togi said I got to call you out on something. When a guy is hot, you say you're not buying his past scores, aka form doesn't matter going forward. Then why do you call out a boy crushing in the past? And why do you call out boy crushing in the past, aka implying form? I don't. What are you calling me out on? Like Neris almost fits exactly what I mean, because he has been absolutely awful lately. Like this is the guy I bought to win Division 1 because I think he will do better this week with set pieces. Now he did have a big chance missed against this Udinese team, so maybe maybe I'm onto something here, but I don't know if I am. Johnny said, I remember you saying that if some of us have cards that somebody needs, well, there's a 1 of 100 2023 Inter Miami on sale, and I have a 1 of 100 Inter Miami player. Inter Miami collectors interested. I mean, just a random Inter Miami. I'm sure somebody would. But Tuggy, I'm not sure what I'm not sure what you're actually calling me out on. When a guy is hot, you say you're not going to buy his past scores, aka form doesn't matter going forward. Then why do you call out someone crushing in the past? Are we talking about Çalhanoğlu? I don't know. Nep said, as per the topic, there is no cost of waiting, assuming Sorare lasts forever. There will be a new season and another, then another, and another. It will never end. No, totally disagree. Tuggy, Kvaratskhelia. Oh, well, it's not so much. I'm not looking at his form. Like he's generally had like a different role under Conte, and like that's what I'm worried about. Like it's actually his scores this entire season have been much worse than what they were in the past. And I mean, they have a new system and a new manager, and it doesn't actually look drastically different. Although it's mostly, why does it say 200? Hold on. A weird bug. But like this is Conte. And I guess he was good at the beginning, unless these are Georgia. Oh, that is Georgia, of course. Napoli. Yeah. But we'll see. I don't even have it. So like, who knows? Who knows? But Nep, so this cost of waiting thing, I actually disagree with this because I disagree that like I think you're almost making the argument that like, oh, we have these cards forever, so you'll have forever to return from them. But like, this is the only season that I can try to win cash from these cards. Like, I'm not going to play a classic David Neres in an in-season lineup in the future. It would be amazing if I could, because it means he's great. But ultimately, I feel like the more we wait on things, the less time we have. But you can play next season instead, or the season after. Yeah, I mean, we can play them, sure, but I can't play them I can't play this lineup that I have in season next year. And I have no reason to believe that I'll be able to yield cash from these cards after this season. And so I feel like there's a time pressure on them. Sure, I can, win cards with them in the future. Why not? But I need some cash now. This coffee got cold so quickly. It's actually snowing outside right now. So there is no cost of waiting. So I would argue that my 1 day wait on Çalhanoğlu cost me $15, but that's a different discussion. But you're right. There is no like additional cost now that I've already spent it. I was going to do it anyway. Lairdinho said it's a finite time given they'll also retire unless coach cards become a thing again. Well, again, that's David Neres is going to be coach. I mean, maybe he'll coach. Who knows? But I'm not expecting all of my players that I own to become coaches and playable in Sorare. But it does feel like I had to pay extra for waiting. And I think the reason, I'm not even sure what I was waiting on. It's not like all of a sudden some great play was going to pop up. And I wish I could. Can I pull up the pick scores from this week? They're probably gone. Does this work? Sorry, I'm trying something secret here. Impact players, my players. Yeah, it doesn't work. So I kept looking at the list of like the best champ forwards for this game week that weren't in La Liga, Bundesliga, or the Prem. And I like kept refreshing it, hoping a new name would pop up at a reasonable price. And I'd be like, oh, that's the guy I need. And I was watching the deadline show, like, oh, maybe someone's out and someone else will sneak in. And I'm like, except I already have that guy with David Neres. And so I actually had to leave like 20 minutes before the deadline. Like I went out to my thing at my daughter's school, and I was like waiting so long to like make sure that I didn't like miss out on something that was going to happen, and ultimately like nothing happened. Dusan Tadic is on 29 points at halftime. 16 possessions lost already. Goodness gracious. Scosmo said there's no cost in waiting if you're talking about the concept of playing Sorare, but there's definitely costs of waiting for specific moves while playing. Yeah. Like paying triple for Niccolo Ravella. So the reason I didn't buy Ravella, and Ravella popped up on my searches, and when Scosmo was like, you should buy Ravella, I was like, oh man, like it's another person. So he's away to Lecce this week, which is perfectly fine. Wait, sorry. Here we go. Scores. But like he just doesn't do much. He looks like Lobotka. And it was like, if I'm going to buy this, might as well just buy Lobotka. And, but like, I don't know, 15 AA in a 6-0 loss to Inter, that's pretty good. But like, man, he just looks allergic to decisives. And then he plays home against Atalanta next week, which is not a situation I wanted to get into. And then away to Roma the week after. And it was like, the one after that is great. Como, Verona, Sociedad midweek. I don't even know if he plays midweeks. Let's see. Maybe, who knows? Fiorentina, Braga. That's actually a tough stretch right there. Like, it's not bad, but I was just like, I don't want to buy this guy. Farracosa, wouldn't the cost of waiting in this context better be renamed opportunity cost? I mean, I'm not missing out on an opportunity. It's not like I didn't take the opportunity. It was just that the opportunity was more expensive because I waited. Agent Cooper, if your champ lineup comes through, what do you win for a podium finish? Let's get excited. Let's find out. I didn't even look. What will Laird win this week? Wish there was a much easier way to do this. Here we go. $2,400, $1,600 for second, and $1,200 for third. There's 256 people in this competition. 256. I wonder if the Impact Players is loaded. And we can see how many people were like me and played Çalhanoğlu. But probably not. Oh, no. Oh, well. Actually, I wonder if it'll load in my secret place. Can't show you guys. But yeah, it would be fun to win that one. For sure. In my first week of playing champ in season Division 1. Oh, it did load here. All right, so let me see how I can share this. I don't want to show you guys too much. Here we go. So this is champ in season Division 1. I guess if I did my own players, there are nine Çalhanoğlu's in this line, in this competition. 3 David Neres. Like if Neres goes off and Napoli is a clean sheet, we are cooking. Do we need Milan to concede? So I actually, one of the other guys I asked was Apocalypto said, I played Çalhanoğlu and Napoli double defensive stack in Division 1 also. That's crazy. Are you Apocalypto on, can we look? Apocalypto. Oh, you are. Ooh. Let's see what you played. Champ in season, Merritt, Di Lorenzo. You have Oliveira, which is so much better. Çalhanoğlu and Lookman. I looked at Lookman too. No pun intended. Toby, who's just trying to like end me. Neres goes off. Napoli clean sheet with Spinazzola starting at left back. Ugh. Are you expecting to keep Çalhanoğlu and Neres long term? Yes, certainly Çalhanoğlu and getting rid of Neres now Like the only reason to get rid of Neris is if I get like a special edition one. Why? Because IYM. Can we see this as well, or is this just you? This is just this is our new Impact Players page, which you guys cannot see yet, but you will soon. But right now you can just use the regular Impact Players. Excuse me. So Mignon, Verts, Kimmich. There's Lookman. Everybody's got Lookman, including someone who played a super rare. Grimaldo. So Merritt, the most popular. Oh no, second most popular goalie. And there's Di Lorenzo. So it's like a popular one, but how many people were dumb enough to play Juan Jesus like me? One other loser. Yeah, I think Apocalypto has the lineup that I would have loved to make, but I didn't. Scosmo said super rare Lookman and rare screams Pranksy. Let's see. I feel like Pranksy would play that in super rare, but we'll see. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen here. So rare results. Probably take an hour to load the 120 lineups that Pranksy has. Bundesliga. Champ in season. Here we go. I'll just quickly look. No super rare. Yeah, no super rare Lookman there. Toby said, I'm actually shocked you didn't get Rachmani over JJ. It was because Rachmani was triple the price. In fact, probably quadruple. Like I paid up. I'm the highest dot here because I got the 1 of 100. But let's call it $12, Jesus. And I thought Rachmani was like 40. So 2.5 times more. And so this is actually the worst part of it. I didn't want to get Rachmani or Oliveira because when everyone is fit, I can't play them with Di Lorenzo and Buongiorno. And so paying less I basically paid less for a backup. Like I was more comfortable doing that. If that makes sense. Toby said, but he's definitely starting. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Surfer said, in the history of your Sorare and streaming career, this is the best strategy I've seen you put out. It's awesome to see you evolve to this. I wish I had time to use these SD tools at the level you are. Are you talking about this champ in season or specifically like this lineup? I feel like Sorare and I have evolved together. That Sorare starting to like make like I get it now, but I get it because they had to change the game a little bit. I don't know. And Tobe said that's stupid though because you have more champ keepers to play with them. I don't. Merritt's my only in season goalie right now. Goose said, is a player with a higher pick score more likely to score well, or am I misunderstanding the pick score? The player with a higher pick score means that they have a better matchup based on their own form and the form of their opponents than others. Like theoretically, yeah, but like it could be just each pick score has an underlying number to it. And like guys with higher pick scores could be 1/100th of a point off. Like we don't see the difference. And so so like theoretically, yes, but it's like a median outcome. So it could be just one player is expected to score more than the other, like 50.1% of the time. And then it's kind of like how different is that? Surface said I was talking about the series over the last few weeks. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Surface. I'm trying to believe, or I'm trying to convince myself that a lot of things that I'm going through are things that other people are going through, and that's why I'm more willing to talk about them. Meaning, talk about my process and my cards and stuff like that. And for how much I really appreciate everybody's feedback in the chat, if it gets to the point where you're just like, this isn't interesting anymore, or this isn't, you're doing stuff that most people don't care about, or like you've just been so successful that now you have all these cards and you're just winning all this money and it's just not so much fun for us anymore, you just let me know. Goose said, I always get surprised when I see a double A in a horrible matchup like Pakshaw away to PSV this weekend. So let's let's look at that one. I think I'm trying to think of somebody who has a Pakshaw. I think, does Gator Guy have one? He does. All right. I'm just going to use this one for an example so that we can see, so we can see into it. So Challenger in season, Pakshaw. Whoops, sorry. That's midweek. We got to go back a week. Thank you, Gator Guy, for letting us borrow your gallery here. All right. So he's a double A. PSV, Feyenoord away. So his scoring history is pretty good, as is his form, despite this. So those would be, he's obviously projected. The odds, I think you can make, here we go. 14% 3 goals scored is not great. I think there's probably a belief that like Feyenoord do score against PSV. I guess I can look up those odds too, like both teams to score or what the Feyenoord over 0.5 goals are. Like it's a tough matchup, sure, but like PSV give up goals to anybody. So who knows? And then the matchup, the opponent score is actually quite bad. But you also have to remember that pick scores are like relative to other players. So like I'm bummed that I can't like pull up the pick scores from this week. But the idea is like if there are not that many forwards in Challenger with great matchups, inevitably he's going to be higher because like you have to consider how many players have higher pick scores than him. The fact that he's higher than Jacob Ream is insane, though. What is the translation from projected score to pick score? Is it a fixed range or is there a dynamic based on a whole range of projections? I think if I remember correctly, the projected score, and it's not a projected score, it's like a strength factor when we consider that like 100 is the highest. Excuse me. So it's definitely dynamic based on a whole range of factors. It's not so much a whole range of projections, but it's probably the median. And it's like a big like the biggest reason we don't do like specific game projections is mostly because football projections and scores are so variable is not the right word, but that's basically it. But the range is huge. Like the fact that a single action can take a player from 35 to 60 points is gigantic. So if you see a median projection of like 55 and somebody's like, oh, well, then they must not think that they're going to get a decisive action. It's like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It just means like for 50% of the time and like generally people don't understand what projections are. And I would even make the argument that a lot of people who make projections don't understand how their own projections work. Like they see a number and they're like, oh, that's what the player is going to score. But then they're like, well, is this a median projection? Is it a ceiling projection? What is the standard deviation? What's one standard deviation from your median? And that's one of the things that we wanted to point out. And I'll show you guys because some people don't realize this on the lineup builder. And again, this isn't part of the projection. But when you're in the lineup builder, and if this looks a little different from you guys, it's because I have this last 15 games played. I always have this on just because it allows me to see kind of like where players have been scoring. And what I particularly like about it is if you click the score, it'll give you the modal and you can see exactly what they scored through. But anyway, if you go to the form tab, which a lot of people don't use, it'll give you the floor and the ceiling of what they've scored over the last 5, 15, and 40 games, as well as their decisive score average, an all-around average, and then the median over that time frame. And it just gives you kind of like a better idea. Like two players who have the same L15 may be wildly different when it comes to floor and ceiling and median. And I feel like with a lot of projections, people will see like, oh, they're these two players are projected for 50 points. And it's like, well, yes, but this player's median is 58 and this one is 48 based off of if they simulated that out. And it's all very different. And so like I used to do like Monte Carlo simulations and stuff like that when doing DFS projections. And ultimately just football is just way too variant. And so the reason we use pick scores is because it's like, it allows people a better understanding of like, is this a good matchup based off of their form, which I don't believe in, their scoring history, which is basically longer than their form, which I do agree with. Are they projected to play? And we added that in because we used to have players who like would play randomly, and it was like, well, if they play, they're AAA, and it's like, well, they haven't played in 4 months. Why would they play? And so it kind of threw them off. So the odds, basically what the important odds are in terms of their player position. So like for goalkeepers and defenders, the most important odds are what are their clean sheet odds, their chance of a clean sheet. And then we kind of mix it up a little bit. For forwards, it's 3 goals scored. And these have all been back tested. And we've seen like which odds make the most sense for each position on the field. And it's not just forward, midfielder, defender. It's like we use 3 goals scored for attacking midfielders and 3 goals allowed for defensive midfielders, because if they end up allowing a lot of goals, those defensive midfielders tend not to score that well. And so that goes into it. And then the last one is opponent score, which is basically like how many fantasy points are allowed by the upcoming opponent to that player's specific position. Does the other team have they given out loads of fantasy points to left backs? And it's just like, that's just something that goes into it. And so this is all like historical data plus projected lineups and sportsbook odds to give you an idea of like, how good is this situation for this player? And now I want to go in and add an anytime goal scorer bet for Pacquiao, but he probably will get an assist and then it won't pay out. Goose said, look at Quentin Timber's score against Heracles last week. Football scores are so unpredictable. Let's do that. Shout out to Harry Trades. I won Quentin Timber once and sold him. Yeah, there you go. Feyenoord win 5-2. And you're like, yeah, Timber probably had a great game. Not only did he have an error led to goal, which gave him the negative decisive, but he also had negative AA. 1 attempted assist in 90 minutes. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, you just don't, football is just very, very different than like NBA is super projectable. And not to say that like every projection is like right, but like the range of NBA projections versus outcomes is much closer than for football. And so that's why I always I did football projections for a long time. When like at RotoWire, we did them for tons of sports. I built like a projection algorithm, and ultimately what it does is projects every underlying stat. How many clearances is this player going to get? How many tackles won? And that all comes as a result of historical data. How many do they average? How many do their opponents get? How many do their opponents get versus league average or whatever it is? And it's just really hard because like there's no right answer. Like you'll get some that look right, but that doesn't mean it's a good projection, because ultimately the projection is just like kind of a guide. And I think that the people would almost misuse like a number if we gave it to them, because again, we're not like saying like this player is going to score 75 points. It's like this player has a 75% chance to have a good game above their median or above their average or something, or it's better than the other 25% or 75% of players here. And like genuinely, I think it would almost be like not so much an information overload for users, but it becomes so much like users would think it was a very granular number. Like this player is going to score 65 points this week. And when they had 27 because they had a big chance miss, like we get blamed. And it's like when people were like, this pick score was way off. Who was that recently? Vardiol. He was a AAA pick score and had 2 big chances missed, and everyone's like, "What a terrible pick score." And it's like, he literally had 2 big chances. Like, I'd argue that that is actually the most accurate pick score hit that we've had. It was this game. It's the Feyenoord game? Forest? That's what it was. Forest. 2 big chances missed. He scored 39 in a 3-0 win and an error led to shot, which you can never project that. But I would argue that, like, if there was ever a AAA pick score, it's like Vardiol home against Nottingham Forest. And I didn't see the big chances, so I don't know. But, like, let's call it, he was a total of 8 inches away from having, 90 points. I mean, I know it's only 70 to get up there, but theoretically, so he gets to 70, he gets to 80 because the big chances are off, and then he gets 6 for the shots on target. Like, it could have been this much distance total, and he has a huge game, and everyone's like, "Oh, that AAA pick score." No, you don't even think about it. You're just like, "Oh yeah, of course of course he was AAA." You said, "How much did you pay for David Neris? I feel like it's going to be hard to win back." I spent like $28, but as a reminder, first place gets 2,400, which is more than $28. John said, if people are picking lineups based on pick score alone and then they complain about it, they probably need to take a step back and rethink things. They're not really blaming. I actually went back and forth with one of the people who like complained about that. They weren't really complaining. It was mostly in jest. And frankly, like, I think everybody plays Vardiol in that situation anyway, regardless of pick. If you don't even have pick scores. Oh, Man City home against Nottingham Forest. Vardiol is going to start. I have Vardiol. Yeah, let me play him. Agent Cooper said, until time travel is invented, we'll never know what's going to happen in the future, apart from Calvin Phillips always being bad at SO5. Was he bad? Did we even have it? Was it in the World Cup when he played every game? Not this recent one, but 4 years ago. I don't know. But John, if you do the suggested lineups, you are picking based on pick scores alone. Goose said that's the weird thing in Challenger this weekend. Nobody except Benfica has an amazing matchup, and that's sort of like how you end up getting somebody like Pak Shao. Hope I'm saying his name right. Tadic, still dust. How he ends up with like a good pick score because, let's see, Benfica, Leeds, Sporting, Galatasaray, Porto. I saw Harry and Quinny going through this earlier today. But yeah, like there's nothing's like overwhelming. And while Feyenoord are not high here because they're not favored to win against PSV, that doesn't mean that that game might not be 5-2. And if it's 2, that's theoretically 4 opportunities for decisive action. Like the goal and assist. He wouldn't get all 4, but like he could be one of the 4. Mike said Calvin Phillips is going to be the Phoenix of 2025, back in the England squad in time for World Cup 2026. John said, Tadic making me regret my pick your target score selection. He's going to miss a pen later too, which is going to be a bummer. Lilypad Gaming, been a minute. Pick scores are great for an idea of what players are going to perhaps score, but they can't predict the human factor. Sometimes it's just a bad day at the office. Totally. Simple as that. Question from Just Mike. Can I turn peak scores off? I don't know what that means. Can I turn peak scores off? Just Mike, if Sorare UI wasn't so horrible, I would try to make the lineups there first and then check peak scores. Oh, you want to turn the pick scores off? Sorry. No, you can't. No. You can ignore them, which PSU fans 2 claims he does. He says he goes into the lineup builder and sorts everything by L15 and just works from there. Which I don't totally believe him, but it also like whatever. I'm curious where this person played Lookman in season, but whatever. I think, do Atalanta not play next weekend? Or do they not play in 2 weekends? Or do they have a tough matchup? Home against Empoli this week, away to Lazio next week, and then they're off in 41. That was the justification for me to not get Lookman. Pico player said, apologies if this was already mentioned. Will there be a possibility on SorareData to remove players from the list or just simply make a list I want to use for each competition? Probably not. We have no plans to like remove players. I think, let me just double check something. I don't think that there's an option to just use all leagues, all scarcities. I was gonna say if you could use players like just from watch lists, but I don't think that's part of it. Goose said it's so hard to totally ignore things like that. It somehow sneaks into your head. Agreed. Durs TFT says, I'm literally addicted to lineup strength feature in the lineup builder. Trying to max it out is almost as fun as playing Sorare itself. Durs, have you tried the suggested, like the lineup strength upgrade suggestions? I look at it sometimes. I don't look at it that much. But like, in case you guys don't know what that is. So this is my Challenger. Apparently Challenger is open midweek because of Jupiler. This is a classic lineup that I have Stoikers. Oh man, do I not have? Oh, because Eredivisie doesn't play. Wonder if I could make a. Do I have a goalie? I don't have an in-season goalie. That's the problem. Looks like we're going shopping later, lads. But anyway, if I played this in, oh my God, Westerlo. Where's Hans? So if I have this lineup for the midweek, and if you click, what is that actually? I use SD on mobile. I don't, do we have this on mobile? Let me try. But the idea here is, so like this midweek for this Challenger Classic lineup, I have a lineup strength indicator 87. And if you click it, it gives you where you could improve, and you can change it based on performance or price. So like if price is really important to you, they're saying that I should get Kadri over Hans Van Aken because Kadri's home against Charleroi, which feels insane that I would do that, and I won't. But then if you just care about performance, they're saying I should get Zorgain to play over Van Aken because he's playing against Kortrijk. And Stelios Andrew over Watanabe is kind of just the regular one that they're telling me to get, which is outrageous also. But that's just a way, like, so I actually didn't even click that or show you there, but it was essentially like, it'll tell you. So if I got Zorgain to play over Van Aken, I would move from an 87 pick or lineup strength indicator to a 93. I don't think we have this on mobile, but I'm looking right now. No, we don't. Not yet, at least. But that's the idea. So this would boost my lineup strength from the top 5% to the top 1%, backed by historical data. And you can see this is where my current lineup is, roughly. And then this is where they say, this is where you should be. I do not have a Zorgain, no. And then you can just buy on Sorare. There he is. Davino. 28,000 XP. Level 20. Let's go. It'd be like level 14 after the transfer or something like that. But yeah, no, I don't have Zorgain. I kind of like that Haspelat is a way to Bruges in a midweek, so I don't feel obligated. I don't feel like I'm losing out on him. Stoikers, Skav Olsen. I could play Skav Olsen. Anyway, that's not what we're doing here. Yeah, so that's what that is. But I agree, Goose, that it's hard to ignore stuff like that, but you just ultimately do. And like let me go to a weekend. Well, actually, there's probably not much going on next weekend, is there? But like, if you just make your lineups early, I guess, and there are no pick scores, just move ahead a few weeks, which I tend to do. Did I already make? Yeah. See, look at this already for next week. Get Çalhanoğlu in there. A way to, I don't even know what that is. What was that? Cagliari, of course. And Neres, who I will have to replace. Durr said Hasbulla can score even there. He scored well against USG as well. Did he? Did he actually score well there? I know he's going to score well this weekend. I need him. Oh, yeah. 16 AA with an assist. God, he's so good. But yeah, Meckelin, he's going. Oh, good looks. Good looks, Tobe. We'll move Di Lorenzo down. And we've got Juan Jesus or Marin. Yeah, we'll just go all the way to the bottom to find them. Great. Goose said, or you could just not be a star member. That's a good point, too. It's an easiest way to hide pick scores is just not be a star member. I don't think you should do that. Just saying. Tope said, or McNeil or Mikolenko. I can't do that because they're not in season. Those guys are classics. I'll play Champ Classic for that game week. It'll be Leno, home against Bournemouth. Mikolenko against Nottingham Forest. Ganagay, maybe, against Nottingham Forest. McNeil, if he's back. Maybe Doku against Leicester. Let's hope McNeil is back. Well, maybe we'll play both of them. And you just always captain Dwight McNeil. Yes, I'll know who's preferred by next week. Unless they're a disaster. And then it's like, oh, great. Maybe they'll change. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go now because there is another stream coming up, not on this channel. I believe in 28 minutes over on Harry's channel. Let me double check. Where is that? I don't see it on his. Oh, here it is. Quinny's Go Fuck Friday is moved there. It's the Christmas Day. Sorry, I don't know why I'm not. Here we go. I can share it with everybody. This is coming up, and I'd like everybody to, step. You don't have to step outside, but just go over to his channel and get ready to watch it in 26 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah, let's go do that. I'm going to go. I'll see about next week. Agent Cooper said, Jesus will be your savior this weekend, Laird. It is a special time of year after all. It's a great point. How did I not put that together? A great point. Toby said, look at this Everton enjoyer. I made Dwight McNeil enjoyer with a collection to boost Dwight McNeil. That's all. So yeah, just in case there's nothing on Monday or Tuesday, or there's nothing Tuesday, just in case there's nothing Monday, and I probably will not stream on Monday. If I do, it'll be early, like 2 p.m. GMT, something like that. But I probably will not. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays to whatever holidays you may be celebrating this next week. And I will see you maybe in a week. I'm hoping to be well rested and everything, but anybody who has kids and has done this a while, you know that this time of year is actually exhausting. So the only thing I can say is stay with it. We'll get through it, and we will be back to Sorare content in no time. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. Happy holidays. Enjoy the weekend. And remember to get those steps in.